Okay, there is a boss back there. So I'm going to show you how to get to that boss and do that boss. See, I'm in all lower tier gear. I've not a single piece of higher tier gear on me. And we're going to run, run, run. W key now, E key here. Keep going. And right here, right in the middle, we're going to drop aggro right here. And we're going to take it one more step forward. And we'll wait right here. Okay, now we're going to put on the Guardian boots. And this with the Spectre hood. So you can see this is the build that a lot of people are trying to copy. And a lot of people are always looking to do it in lower tier gear. Can you fight a boss? Yes, just remember that I am specialized. So instead of tier 6.2, you would have to be in tier 6.3 to even come close to what I'm doing, right? I'm heavily specialized in nature. I'm specialized in leather hoods. I'm specialized in leather jackets. I'm specialized in plate boots. So in order to even come close to copying what you're seeing here, it has to be 6.3. If you're not specialized. If you're specialized like me, then you could do it in 6.2. You could probably even do it in less gear as well. So you could probably do 6.1 or even in just 6. Just know that the more tiers you go down, the harder the battle would be. Now you can see here, I can even do this whole battle without the R key and the D key, but I hit the R key now, I hit the D key now, and I usually save my RD and my F key for way, way later. When you see this yellow boss, real easy to take out. And then as a player that's just getting out, you get all this fame, right? You get the 32,000 fame, you're leveling up all these other weapons, all these other skills, and you can sit here and you can camp this boss here. So if you're willing to wait every 15 minutes, you can literally just sit right here and wait for the boss to come back and then get another 32,000 fame. Okay, now the hard part is trying to get this type of chest right here. See, if you're trying, remember how I've said in a lot of my previous streams, if you're trying to get these chests right here, the time to effort is huge. And if you're trying to do the time to effort with even just this type of gear, this will take me who knows how long. So just like Mix SVG Dev, yeah, you can do yellow bosses in 4.2. You can even do yellow bosses in 0.4. It's getting to the yellow bosses in a static dungeon down here is where I would say you would want to wear the at least tier 6 gear. And the main reason why I wear tier 6 gear, at least it's 6 years gear, is so that I can get the other skills for the nature staff. Now I'm over here talking and not doing. So you hit the R key now and the D key, so W and then E. And you see how you lower hit points? Your R key is only when you're at lower hit points. Your F key right here is only when you're at higher hit points. So when you see how I'm at much lower hit points, that's when you pop your R key. The reason why the R key with the healing jacket is the lower hit points you have, you see it when I'm at 20% hit points, I do more damage. W key, E key now. We'll go big. Now I know I went big at the wrong time because you want to go big when you have more hit points. So usually I start off with going big, but you can see right here, I didn't panic and I did all the things and I didn't do them right away. You have to save them in lower tier gear. But just like MCUS SVG Dev, you can do yellow bosses in tier 4. You can even do yellow bosses tier 4.2. I've done yellow bosses in tier 4. It's getting to the bosses that make it a lot harder in the static dungeon. But you can see right here, lower tier gear, you can clear out the mobs. It takes longer, it's more difficult. It takes patience and time. You won't be able to do the same thing I'm doing, but it is possible. And just like he said before, mobs are a lot harder than bosses. A yellow boss, anyways. Another reason why I'm wearing 6.2 is so you can solo an actual red boss. So red boss is soloable in 6.2 for me, or in most cases for people that are not specialized 6.3. It takes practice to solo a big red boss in 6.2, 6.3. You can probably do it even in lower gear as well. It is very difficult. I don't practice anything lower than 6 because tier 6 with a one-headed weapon unlocks all of the categories instead of only having a few. So I get minimum at least tier 6. So if you notice, if you buy a nature staff and you buy anything less than a tier 6, these 2 other slots will stay locked. You won't exist. So if you watch some of my previous streams, MC, US, SVG Dev, I actually get a whole bunch of different red bosses on live stream. Red bosses are definitely something I've never been able to do in tier 4 or even tier 5. Solo, as a solo player. I'm sure I could. I've never attempted it. Because every time I see a red boss, I usually put on my highest tier gear so that I can do it in one attempt. Because red bosses are a lot difficult. Now we're purposely taking the time to effort to do this. Sorry if it's boring for some. But I'm purposely showing that you can do this in lower tier gear. Again, for those that are just joining, because I know people are joining. We bought lower tier gear. We're showing how to get to a chest and bosses in lower tier gear in static tier 4. And you see how I'm pulling? Now this mob is a little too big, so we'll pull back even further. And now we have just this guy right here. You see this one? And this mob is from that section right there. This is what we do is it's kind of a pull tactic. And see how we've dropped everything else and we have just this guy? And you just fight one mob at a time and you take it nice and slow. Okay, we grab some more mobs. The W key, E key, R key now because I have lower hit points. This might be one where we have to actually go back. So we're going to drop mobs now. Okay. See how it failed? So now we know that the archer in the back and the mage in the back. The archer and the mage do tons of damage. So I have to think of which one do I want to fight first. Do I want the mage first or do I want the archer first? Now you notice the archer's further back. So we probably want to kill the mage first. So we're going to wait for some of our cooldowns. We're going to be patient. We're not going to rush it. Why not solo group dungeons using your main gear? Because I've had a lot of questions of people wanting me to do this. So I'm just teaching. After this chest, we may go back to our main gear. I know this also suggestion also was to go to Wrestledale. I don't know how much time I have to actually play. Let me look at the clock right now. I don't have a ton of time to play, but we're showcasing this. We're showcasing, can this be done in lower tier gear? The answer is yes. So this is where we're going to go big now. And more hit points. W key, E key right here. We're focusing down the Frostweaver. We do the R key now, D key. The only person I'm trying to get rid of is the Frostweaver. I'm not caring about any other mobs right now. W key, R key. Once the Frostweaver is gone, then we're going to try for the Archer. If we don't get the Archer, that is fine. We back it out. So we get with our Undead Cape Cloak, and that's fine. We took down one mob. Okay? And this is all lower tier gear. And so it's a long, slow process to go back and forth in lower tier gear. Because this and the reason binary is why I'm not doing it in my main gear. Is the question was, can you do this in lower tier gear? You can't, and I'm purposely pulling one of the hardest type of chests that you can get. And can you do it? So if you can do this, and you're trying to replicate what I'm doing with my gear, it can be done. And this is one of the harder pulls for a chest to get. Now we killed off one mob. Now the next mob we were trying to aim for is just the Archer. We pull it back just far enough, and we just want the Archer. That's the only goal here, is just to take out the Archer. R key, D key. Go big here. Now I pulled way too many mobs, so we back it all the way out. So it accidentally pulled these mobs right there. Now you see right here, there's people coming. Again. Because this is like a ghost pull type of thing. And we were able to pull just the knight. Which is nice, so we don't have to worry about the archer or the summons. And we fight this guy right here. A ghost pull is where the mobs are running back, and you damage a mob that's a part of the actual group. And so one of them come out. Now you can do this for bosses too. I've done a lot of practices in group dungeons of doing that. And you just have to take it a lot slower. See right here now that the mobs are coming because I walked a little too close. That's okay. We're taking out just the one mob, and then there'll only be an archer left. An archer and the 2 summons. Alright, now we killed the mob. We can drop off these summon guys. Now we can go kill one of the summon things. So then my goal is the summon thing and the archer if we can. W key, E key. Grab the big knight. But I'm really just trying to kill off the summon. Now I know I got muted. 50 minutes. Now here's another problem too. You see my escape? The guys respawned on me. So you have to clear off your escape route. So you have to clear. And now there's a boss back there. So we're actually going to go for that. See the time, the effort to get that? Huge. Not worth it. Now I know I don't have undead cape, so we have to do cotton candy on the invisibility potion. Meaning I need it if I need it. And we're going to run. And we're going to go for that yellow boss. W key now, E key, R key. Just keep running. We're gonna try to drop aggro right here. Ow, we're pushing it. W key now, E key. Wait for cooldowns. Just have to take it slower. The reboot spawn timer is between 50 minutes and an hour and a half. So it can spawn anywhere between 50 minutes and an hour and a half. But they normally spawn on routine every 50 minutes. Now the thing that changes the spawn times, which I've noticed, is if the undead forces are rallying, that can change the timer to 30 minutes. So that makes it so it's randomized. So they purposely did that, the developers. We're going to sprint. We're going to run to a spot where we know we can drop all aggro, which is literally right here in this corner, right like there. You're going to drop all aggro. We're going to put back on this and this. We're going to wait for the timers. And then we're going to attempt to do this boss. And then this chest is far easier than that chest. So we can get this boss in this chest in this lower tier gear. You can see it can be done, but it has to be done a lot slower. Now the mage is the main point here. So we're fighting this mage, focusing the mage. W key, E key. We'll use the F key now. This is the rotation I actually normally like to do. Just I haven't done it because I haven't been wearing my torch for so long. Now we hit the R key now, hit the D key. This is the proper rotation for this build. So W key, R key again. Hit the E key. I got interrupted, so we won't be able to. W key. And it's okay if we don't get them all. We got some. That's the main focus. It just cloaked. Now we run back over here in the cloak, and we get to our spot where we can have it. We got most of the mobs. You see how he has the pattern on the back? He's actually a glowy mage. So you have to be careful. That pattern on the back is a glowy mage type of guy. Now that most of the mobs are gone, just one mage, we can fight the boss. And we want to fight the boss so other people don't see this big yellow mark. So now that most of the cooldowns are down, we're going to fight this yellow boss. Now the boss is easy in comparison to what we just did. Now I'm going to make it out. W key, E key. R key now just for damage. With D key for refresh. W key again, E key, R key. And then the boss is down. Okay? Now there's just the mage. To get the mage, even though he's there, you all you have to do is touch the chest. And make the mage move over here, and you're fine. Now let it touch the chest. I didn't pull those other guys. I only pulled the mobs that are linked to the chest. And for me, I know the mage is the one that's linked to it, so. Now he is a glowy mage, so he's kind of just the same thing like another boss. And I didn't want to fight two of them at the same time. You could. I'm just showcasing how to be safe, how to do it in lower tier gear, and can it be done. And you see it's much slower than wearing my high tier main gear and doing this. We get a blue chest. 175. Okay, now we're going over here. We'll put the healing back on. We'll put some sprinting on. And we're going to run to this chest and we're going to get this chest. But you notice I'm playing it a lot safer. It's a lot different type of gameplay in lower tier gear. We'll touch these guys before we sprint, and we sprint now. W key, those mages, see how much damage the mages do even without abilities. R key now. Run, 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 run as best we can. We can hit D key right here. And now we switch back to the gear we want to do this in. Do I usually do this? Yes, I usually do this. This is how I make all my money. I don't play in the black zone. I don't play in the red zone. I showcase how to do these spawns, where are the safe spots to be. I showcase as many chest spawns and boss spawns as I can. I show fighting red bosses, big huge red bosses, orange bosses. I show opening legendary chests on my live streams. But I normally do it in my normal gear. But the main reason I'm doing this in this lower tier gear on purpose is because I got asked so many times, can I do this? Can I copy your build? Can I do it in lower tier gear? And the answer is yes. Exactly what I'm doing. This is everything that I do, but in 6.2. Which I believe people can afford 6.2 usually. If you can't afford 6.2, do other content till you can afford it. Now you see this knight right here? See how I was waiting? I only pulled 2. You don't rush. Now the bigger threat right here is the mage, not the swordsman. Even though the swordsman glowy, I don't care. The mage is the only goal here. The only goal is the mage, to take down the mage. The swordsman is not a big deal. W key, E key. Now I know I can do it. I'm just trying to say, like, if you're doing this by yourself and you're panicking and whatnot, don't panic. Just fight it. Now I hit the R key because I'm at lower hit points. D key now. Again, I'm only focusing on the mage. I'm doing damage to the knight too because I think I can take both of them down. Now I'm at low hit points again. This is where you pop the R key again to do more damage. Hit the E key. We'll go big. Take more damage. You don't ever save it when you're fighting a glowy mob. We'll wait till we're small again, and then when we're small, we hit the W key. My low tier gear is higher tier gear for you. Yeah, if you're not in the tier 6 gear, tier 6.2 or 6.3, depending on if you're specialized or not, then doing what I'm doing here becomes even harder. It can still be done, but it is even harder than what I'm doing here. Because you see how slow I'm taking? Because if you watch a lot of my previous streams, you'll see I do this all in 8.4, 8.3 gear. And I just run through it and I speed through it like it's nothing. When you're in lower tier gear, you see how much slower I take it? I take it slow. I take it very slow. And I'm cautious because I don't even want, I'm practiced. Just think of it, and I always say this to people in my streams as well as all my videos. Everything I do is practice for the game. And you don't have to succeed every single time. And I even showcase too, if I die even in higher tier gear and it costs me a whole bunch of silver, it costs me 500,000 silver to learn from experience, then I accept those losses. And I move on. And I just keep playing. Yes, I am on the US West server, MCUX Dev. I am on the US West server. I normally almost always only play in Fort Sterling. So those are the two caveats is you have to be on US West, you have to be in Fort Sterling, and I have to know who you are through either my streams or you have to either join my Discord channel or message me through your stream what your game name is. Oh, is this you right here? MCUX SVG Dev? All right, we'll accept. Perfect. You're welcome. Now, please be aware, Albion Online is not my main game, MCUX SVG Dev. This is just a game that I stream in the morning for people. I play a lot of different games. I have a lot of different games on my stream. But yeah, I welcome anybody that wants to play. So anybody that's watching this stream and wanted to learn, can you do this in lower tier gear? That is how you do it. Okay. And I'm going to see if I can cut this section out and put it into normal content so that people can see that it can be done in not tier 8.3. I'm not as it should stop saying lower tier gear. In not tier 8.3 gear. It can be done in 6.2. Or in my case, because I'm specialized, it's basically 6.3. It can be done. You can do it in even lower gear. You can do it in tier 5. I don't enjoy doing it in tier 5 because it's even slower, but it also can be done in tier 5. Okay? 5.3, 5.2, you can still do what I just did, but it's even slower. It's even longer. And you have to be more cautious.